Hey guys, what's up? So yes, we have a little bit new of a background today. Thought I would change it up a little bit. But today's story time is going to be a Tinder story time. And to be honest, I can't go like 2 weeks without telling a story about a Tinder guy or something like that. It's just my thing. I don't know why. Honestly, the amount of stories I have on this topic is quite perplexing. And frankly, a little bit scary. This is the kind of story that I just want to tell when it's like, let me just share with you all my BFFs, like, this is what this guy did to me. Like, girl, just listen up because I'm gonna tell you some shit that went down. Today is also a long distance virtual collab with Hey Paris on YouTube. I've been watching her forever. If you like my videos, you're gonna love hers. She does some awesome story times. She is just so great. You definitely have to go check her channel out after this video. She's telling a story about a guy date situation where, you know, he may or may not have shit his pants. So definitely go check that out. Let's get into my Tinder story, and it begins right now. I had just gotten my heart broken on Tinder, of course. And this was around the time of spring 2014. But when I get my heart broken on Tinder, I guess back in the day, my solution to things was let's go back on Tinder and, you know, see if we can find you another one. That was me. I matched with him and he was very cute. He was kind of a different type of guy that I would go for. He was very pop punk, rock type guy. He had gauges, nose ring, tattoos, just very like that kind of hipster type guy. But I was like so digging it. So he ended up messaging me first and we planned on him actually driving to come pick me up, which at the time on Tinder I was not used to chivalry. I was not used to even like real dates. I was used to like,
if you want to come to my house, you know, and watch a movie. I mean, it's only 1 a.m. But, you know, we'll hang out and we'll get to know each other.
That sounds so fun. I can't believe you invited me to your house. That is so sweet. You're such a gentleman. Oh my gosh, I'll be over. Maybe he'll fall in love with me at 1 a.m. at his house watching movies in the dark.
no bitch. So I was excited because I felt like, okay, maybe something can turn out from this. I want a boyfriend, I'm ready, he seems legit, let's do it. He comes to pick me up and it was really, really nice. I was completely physically attracted to him, and that's only a bonus. He was a great guy, he had a great personality, he was funny, and I thought that we clicked really well. So he drove us down to the beach and we went to this place called Baked Bear, which is like an ice cream place, and then we just kind of walked around and then we drove to a lookout spot, and it was just like one of the best dates I'd ever been on. It was like a real date. As we're sitting on a bench at the top of this lookout spot, he's kind of telling me a lot of things about him. We're kind of getting like deep in conversation, and he ends up telling me about his ex. And that should be a red flag right there because I don't want to hear about your ex on the first date. I'm not interested. I think we can all say that we don't like when people talk about their exes on dates. It's just not a thing. He ends up telling me that him and his ex actually broke up like 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, he was in a long-term relationship, about a 2-year relationship with this girl. They had a puppy together, they were super serious, and she actually left him for another guy. Just didn't even like do anything, didn't properly break up with him, just left him for another guy, and they were now engaged. It was just like this whole thing to where he would be absolutely heartbroken. And I should have taken that as a realization that a guy that gets out of a relationship and is still currently heartbroken after 2 weeks is probably just looking for a rebound or a bounce back girl. He's probably not seriously taking you as like you're gonna be his future girlfriend or something, but it took me about 3 months to find this out. I decided to just let that whole part go and just continue on things with him. So I end up going home, I'm talking to my mom, I'm telling her about this wonderful date that I had with this awesome guy, and I get a text from him. So also at this point in my Tinder life and dating life, I wasn't super used to like being pursued by guys. Like usually they were just trying to get one thing, especially because my only way of dating people at that time was Tinder. So I wasn't used to a guy really pursuing me like that. So he texts me with all these emojis, all these hearts, just saying how much he likes me and how much it was a great time, how he wants to see me again. So he invited me over for pizza and a little movie night at his house the next day. The next day rolls around, I go to his house, we have a really great date night, we're just like eating pizza, I met his parents, and we were just hanging out and it was really good. So So things start getting like kind of serious in my head between us. Like we are genuinely dating, we're going out, you know. This is when I got a little crazy, but tell me if you'd be upset about this, because I was. So I had been told that him and his ex would never talk again. You know, they hated each other. Obviously, she just completely just was a terrible person to him, had no respect for their relationship, and basically I never expected her to be a problem because of that. So I'm just laying on his chest. I'd actually slept over the night before, and I'm just laying on his chest with like my arm around his stomach, whatever, but I'm in perfect position to just lift my eyes up and see the text, you know what I mean? So I'm just laying on him, and I look up at his phone, and I had already done pre-stalking, so I knew who this girl was and what her name was. And it's her. So he's texting his ex, and I can see the conversation, and it's a nice, genuine, normal conversation as if they're talking again. It's not a fight, it's not anything like that. It's not an argument. So I start to get suspicious, and now the first thing my mind goes to is, cool, he's playing me, they're gonna get back together, what's the point of staying if they're just gonna get back together and fall in love? Like, I'm not gonna stand for this. So my heart's racing, I'm freaking out, I'm texting my friends, and they're all telling me just to get up and walk out, it's not worth it, you know, there's just something not right about this. So I take their advice, I get up, and I just completely walk out the door. I have a mean face on, a mad face on, grab my stuff angrily. I pushed him off me when I got up, like literally pushed him off me, and I walked out to my car, and I remember this vividly. I started bawling my eyes out. I'm literally bawling my eyes out in my car, just absolutely yelling at my friends in the car. Not yelling at them, but just yelling into the phone like, why is this always me? Why do I go through this? Why are all these guys like just playing me, blah blah blah. And to be honest, I definitely went completely overboard. We had only been on like 3 or 4 dates at this point, so I'm aware it was totally overboard, but I was just so upset and I was tired of being played and I didn't want to look like a fool. I ended up waiting about 20 minutes, kind of hoping that he'll come out and we can resolve this, and he didn't come outside for 20 minutes. And I'm just awkwardly like staring straight in front of me inside my car because I'm like sitting in the driver's seat, and he's just standing outside my door with the car door open, and he's just staring at me, and we were just in silence for like 30 minutes, I kid you not, and it was just so awkward, but I was not gonna be played. So after this, we mend things, we continue dating, and time is like going, time is flying. It's been like maybe a month and a half, 2 months, and we are just seriously getting serious. We are going on some real dates, and I'm hanging out with his family, all that stuff. During this time, we even did things like go to Disneyland together, we snuck into jacuzzis at hotels, we went to really cool lookout spots, we would go try all these new food places, we would just like do everything together. Can I also mention, just because this is a little funny side note, during our dating, sometimes I would spend the night, and I kid you not, like this is embarrassing, I'm just gonna tell you this because I don't know, I'm gonna embarrass myself right now. I would literally fart and I would wake myself up from those farts, and he would be like, it's okay, and I would be like, no it's not, I'm freaking embarrassed right now. And yeah, so I would basically wake myself up from my farts, but that's okay, that's, you know. But whenever I would bring up, you know, what are we, where do we stand, you know, because I was like kind of pushing a relationship, which is wrong. You don't want to push anything, ever. But I was pushing this relationship, and every time I would bring something like that up, he would just fight me back and be like, you know, no, I'm not ready for this, you know, I don't really know what I want. He was just making a lot of excuses to not be in a relationship with me, but But it's like, I'm not gonna wait around and date somebody that doesn't want to date me or make anything official, you know what I mean? So I was getting upset because I started to realize, okay, maybe you should have paid more attention to the first date issue, to where, you know, he's looking for a rebound, probably. We keep going on a roller coaster. We make up, we fight, we make up, we fight. It's just ridiculous. And every time, you know, we cut it off or he cuts it off, he came back. And so that's also kind of playing with my heart and my emotions, because I really do feel like you like me and we're gonna make this work. That's just what is going on in my head, but it didn't really work out that way. We're just in this weird limbo space to where we're single, but we're dating. Are we boyfriend and girlfriend? Are we single and we can do whatever we want? Can we not do whatever we want, but we're still single? I don't get it. I was clearly getting frustrated. About like 3 months into this relationship, you know, we talked every single day. We always kept up to date with each other. There was never any times where we weren't speaking or anything. We were like always together, always talking, and I still felt like I was the main girl, like I was the girl that was gonna end up with him. I really didn't foresee him hanging out with anybody else because he didn't seem like he was that kind of guy, but lo and behold, one random day happens, and I don't get a text from him all day, and I'm very upset. I think I Snapchatted him as well. He opened it and didn't respond, which was not always very characteristic of him. He usually would respond. I remember feeling really depressed and knowing that something was going on this day. He wasn't texting me. So the next day rolls around and there's still no text, and it's been like half the day. So I'm casually strolling through Instagram and I come across a picture that he posted maybe like an hour ago from this point, and it was a picture of 2 Arizona iced teas. And one of the iced teas was tagged as this girl that I went to high school with. So clearly he's hanging out with this girl. So I knew my suspicions were correct. I knew my gut feeling was correct. And I ended up going to this girl's Twitter and seeing that all of her tweets are about this guy. She's very into him. They're dating. You can see that like she's seeing someone, and I clearly know that it's him. It's very obvious the things that she's saying. So basically, I find out that he is dating another girl. Now logically, yes, you know, we're not together, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend, he's not cheating, but it's the morals of it. Again, you know, it's a thing that's like, you just can't string somebody on for 3 months, but then be dating all these other people when you were really taking me seriously, you know what I mean? It wasn't just like, oh, I'll see you a couple times, like we're friends, you know, we're not like doing anything physical, we're not kissing, nothing like that. We're just friends. Like, no, we were seriously like, things were where he shouldn't be seeing other people, and I wasn't seeing any other people, so I was just a little bit devastated, you know, like I'm sure you guys would feel the same way. I felt very played, felt very used, and I felt like there was a little bit of fuckboy coming out in this guy. So I ended up texting him a really long text message, just kind of calling everything off, kind of calling him out for everything, for being kind of disrespectful, and he ended up texting me back a couple hours later, honestly trying to keep me. Like, he was trying to get me to stay and, you know, like keep this going. He wanted to try again. He wanted to start over. It was nothing. Oh, they didn't do anything. They were just friends, blah, blah, blah. Just making up all the lies. And, you know, silly me decided that I was gonna accept this and I was gonna keep talking to him. So he stays talking to me and this girl. And Warped Tour rolls around, and like I mentioned, he's definitely the kind of guy that would go to Warped Tour. He's very into that music and all that stuff. So I decided that this was going to be my master plot to get this guy back. And I had liked the music, I liked the bands and everything at Warped Tour. My favorite band at the time was This Wildlife, and they were going to be there that year because it was 2014 Warped Tour, and I was completely stoked. So I decided to go, purchase my tickets. I was going to bring Kava with me and some other friends. By the way, there was a story time that I can share about me and Kava. It was our worst fight ever at Warped Tour, and it was just like totally terrible. I don't know if I'll share it. I don't know if you guys want me to, but it's kind of like funny and crazy. Obviously, I love her to death. We're best friends, so you know, it wouldn't be anything bad or shit talking. It's just kind of crazy. But anyways, let me know if you want to see that. So I go to Warped Tour. I'm hanging out with my friends, and I'm kind of texting him, trying to meet up with him. You know, trying to go see sets with him, trying to be with him, and he's just not having it. He's not really responding to me. He's not making an effort. He says his phone's dying. Blah blah blah. So it's been like, you know, a lot of hours. It's probably like 5 o'clock at this point. And I end up seeing him in the middle of like a moving crowd with his friend. So I go up to him, I tap him on his shoulder, and this happened after the fight and everything, after he was with the other girl from my high school, dating her, whatever, and the big fight we had over text. This is after it, so the conversation was very awkward. I want to say it maybe lasted a minute. It was just absolutely the worst moment because it was that moment where you know, okay, we're done, you know, like this is over, we don't feel it anymore, it's not the same, it's never going to be the same. And I went on the rest of the day still trying to make something happen with him, but you know, his phone would conveniently die, or I had to text him on other phones, or he would like Snapchat me once and be like, hey, let's go watch the set together, or hey, like come meet me. And then he wouldn't follow through with it, and he wouldn't respond to my snap back, and it was just frustrating because just everything about this time and about this guy just made me feel played. So after Warped Tour, we didn't really talk a lot, but I ended up contacting the girl that he was tagging in the picture. And I got to know her, and I got to know everything that was going on between them. Apparently she didn't know about me. She was told that we were nothing, so we were just friends after everything. Like, you know, we were physical with things. We were spending multiple days of a week with each other. It was legit dating. Like, borderline, I wanted to tell him how much I literally could love him. Like, I wasn't at the point of loving him, but like, seriously, one of the most serious guys in my life, and anybody in my family can vouch for that. So finding out from her that he said that I was nothing and just friends, and same he said to me about her, absolutely we got played. And he didn't know what he wanted at the time, so I can't blame people for doing some of the things that they do. All I can do is hope that they change. I ended up talking to her and finding out that my suspicions were correct, and the day that I saw the Instagram post, they had had a sleepover the night before, they had gotten physical, they, you know, were doing everything that we were doing, and there was no respect for him to tell me like, you know, I think we should see other people, I don't think we should date anymore, or just like cut things off with me. He didn't really tell me that. That's why I was still upset. You know, I didn't get like closure, I didn't get a break off before he started dating this other girl. He was doing it at the same time. We became really good friends from this though, still friends with her now, love her, absolutely. But yeah, that was kind of devastating, so I just kind of kept going on with my life, and I ended up getting over it. But when I look back at it, I realized that there was a lot of signs that I completely ignored, like the talking about the ex on the first date, the breaking up 2 weeks ago, clearly I was a rebound, the random days of not texting, the can't commit, you know, it just, there was things that I should have noticed and took more confidence and pride in myself to be like, no, I'm not going to stand for that. This isn't what I want. I want a real relationship with a real genuine person. You know, I'm not going to have it. But I was not strong enough to say that at the time. I really, really liked him. So, yeah, I found out that I was super played. I don't know if maybe there was other girls involved in this. I do know that about 2 months after all of this, he did end up getting a girlfriend that he was absolutely in love with. So that's when you kind of know, like, okay, we just weren't the ones for him, you know? Like, we tried so hard, we wanted something so much, but it just wasn't gonna happen. You can't make everything happen that you want. What I like telling these stories, and I kind of like warning you guys so that you can get an idea of what's going on in maybe your relationship or dating life and be like, oh, I don't want that to happen to me. So watch out for any of these signs. Don't get played. Don't get played by a Tinder fuckboy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to go check out Hey Paris's channel, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. I upload videos every Monday and Friday. Also follow me on my social media. The links are down below. And give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. It means so much to me. And I will see your lovely, beautiful faces in my next video. Bye guys.